Hey everybody, how you doing today? It's your pal Boise doing another daily sobriety vlog. And today, Sunday, April 26th, 2026, I have been sober for 14,271 days, 39 years and 25 days, 468 months, and 25 days. So look at that, huh? Anyways, it's a nice day. It's a Sunday. It's late Sunday afternoon, early evening. I'm just chilling and I'm just kind of reflecting. And some of the folks, the nice folks from the Temple of Sobriety, rounded up a few questions. So I'm going to answer a few questions today. Sandra was nice enough to round these things up for me. And, I've mentioned before that at this point in my life, it feels like just my existence, like just the way I do things. It just seems to be the way things are. It's just part of my daily structure, like breathing, eating, talking. So sometimes I might seem like I'm taking it for granted or glossing over it, and I don't really look at the details. Kind of like if you have a pilot and you want to know about how many lug nuts are in each one of the tires to hold it together, and when do you change the tires out, and you have detailed questions like that, and he's like, oh, we just hit the landing gear, and that's been taken care of. We're going to land. Oh, you want more specific? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I was flying at 10,000 feet. Let me take it down a little bit. Or in this case, I'm flying at 14,271 feet. Well, let's take it down a little bit and let's answer some of your questions. And that way I don't gloss over things. And unfortunately, when these questions, for some reason, they don't expand. That's the whole thing about a smartphone. They force me to look like an old man. I can't read the goddamn thing because they don't, but other things you can zoom out and zoom in on. I don't understand the inconsistency of the media, and that's the reason why I'm an old man and I hate the shit. That's the reason why I got other people helping me do this. Otherwise I wouldn't even be doing any of these vlogs because I have no idea how to run all this stuff. People help me and then I figure out how I can do a certain piece and then I learn a little more later. So I'm just kind of learning as I go itself. But some of the questions, one is, and they're really good ones too. How did you begin your journey to sobriety? The initial steps are always fascinating and can provide inspiration for others starting out. Yeah, it can. Oftentimes I'm always kind of kidding around and I say, I have a born-again auntie who says, good, you found Jesus Christ and he's your Lord and Savior and that's the reason why you're sober now, right? No, not unless the arresting officer was named Jesus, but I don't quite remember the arresting officer's name. And then I went through treatment. That was forced court order after 3 arrests. And then they said you're going to have 2 years in prison unless you go to treatment, which seemed like a good idea. Yeah, so 2 years lockup, and okay, let's do that. How long is that going to take? Oh, about a month or so. No, it took multiple months. They lied. And then I had to spend an extra month in there, an extra 30 days, because my anger counselor felt that I had anger issues still, which really pissed me off, ironically. And I still probably do have anger issues because I have a problem with authority, which I know I embrace and sometimes actually love. So you learn to live with some of your things. But yeah, it was lockup, 3 times locked up. And when you realize, and I gloss over and I make jokes about it and I say, well, I'm in there locked up and I'm thinking, I got to find a better way to have a definition of fun. This isn't fun being locked up for 5 days waiting for court and finding out what's going to actually happen to me because I can't afford to be bailed out because I don't have the money to bail myself out. So I'm just going to sit it out. And then you have that time, an aged answer and question, money, freedom, time. I don't have the money to be free, so I guess I'll just spend the time because time is money. Hey, just like they said in business, time is money. Here it is. Even when you're locked up, time is money. So it gave me a start, let's just say, to starting my journey. And then from there, it was uphill all the way. Because when you're locked up for a long period of time, you can go out Monday through Friday during the day from 8 until about 6, I think it was at night, maybe 5. I think it was 6. And if you were late, there would be warrants sworn out for your arrest, and the cops would actually be looking for you. So they were not messing around. But I was locked up every night and every weekend, and that's when I had a lot of therapy sessions and learn how to speak and in a group setting, and learn how to share some of the pain and some of the stuff that got me there. And I mentioned before in other videos, we all have patterns, but the pattern is that we don't know how to speak, we don't know how to express ourselves. We come from families that, the classic line, brace yourself, you've probably heard you say it yourself, and definitely family members. We don't say we love each other, we just know it. Instead of saying 3 words, I love you, we don't say I love you or to each other. We just know it, okay? Wouldn't it just be easier to say I love you? But see, even when you talk to your family members, that's where you're vulnerable. And you're opening yourself up. And if you already have that hole in your soul, it's like, oh shit, here it comes. You're gonna help me fill it up a little bit by saying, you know, I really appreciate and love you too. Oh God, that felt good. Or are you gonna say, shut up, quit being a fag. Oh God, I shouldn't have said it. That's a guy to another guy. I don't never would expect a woman to say that to another woman. Shut up, you're being a fag. Women have different patterns and different things with their addiction as men. We are unique beasts in that particular situation. But the things that women go through, the pattern is all similar and the same as the men. And then we have a lot of overlapping things that we all do as well. And that's it in a nutshell. When you do that, you're well on your way. You're starting your journey. You're, like I say, it's uphill all the way, baby. All right, let me put on my old man glass, reading glasses again. Let's see what we got here. Another question. What's the hardest part for you in the beginning? Understanding the challenges that you face can be eye-opening and informative. Well, I try to make them eye-opening, informative, and I try to make them humorous. Not making fun of you, making fun of me. Because if it's the same similar pattern, the jackassery that I did is exactly what you did too. So if I mock myself, you know you've done it yourself. And if I can freely mock myself and share things with people, eventually you can too, and not fear rejection and not fear people thinking the worst of you. But that takes time. It's repetition. You know, I like to say it's like if you want washboard abs, you got to do more than just one sit-up. You got to commit yourself to these things. Well, it's just hard. Well, you want to stay alive, right? Yeah. Well, why are you breathing? That takes work and effort too, right? Just stop breathing. You'll be fine. Well, you'll be dead, but you know, at least you won't have to worry about being rejected. Everyone all get together and throw dirt on you. It's everything you do, it's going to take effort. You can't play guitar without getting blisters on your fingers. Okay? Yeah, it's not going to work, you know? If you're going to be any bit successful, you have to be able to apply yourself to it. You have to want it. And not just, oh, I really want it, and then I got distracted and went to a movie, and then I forgot all about it. No, you didn't want it. It's like a relationship. At first, it's like, oh, this is dynamite. We really fit well together. You're not completely together. You're trying to make it fit as best you can. And some of us never get it to completely fit. But we are comfortable with the awkward dance that we have with ourselves in our lives. And that becomes our reality. And it works. And we trust each other. Now, if you're adding addiction to it, you have to be more open and honest. That sometimes stabilizes it and rights some of the wrongs you did in the past. So it can be successful that way. It can also blow it apart, never put it back together again. And that's what I'm talking about when children are the collateral damage. Mom here, dad there. Oh, we co-parent. Oh, isn't that a cute effing word? In other words, at least one of you are there at some time in your child's life. I had someone say something the other day and I thought it was humorous and tragic at the same time. I said, some people have tattoos of their children on them, their names, their baby pictures, their little baby footprints on them. They don't have custody of them, but they got tattoos of their kids. They don't have custody, but they got tattoos of their kids. Co-parenting. You still have to apply yourself, You just don't. If you just pick up your kid, if you're dad and you get to pick up the kid every weekend and mom gets a break from all the other pressures of bathing and making sure they're fed and making sure they get to school and making sure they come home, making sure they're doing their homework, and dad gets to take them to the park and take them out for ice cream and eat, and dad's the fun parent and mom is the one that disciplines. The kid is going to react a certain way to that. And dad, in the end, doesn't even get off the hook, because in the end, the child knows that mom was there for the grit and for the hard things in life. Dad was just, I was a dog to dad. He would just throw a frisbee at me in the park. Then we'd go to a movie. Then we'd have ice cream. And then go home, and then mom would make me go to bed on a certain time. And sometimes parents know that. They dig at each other through their kids too. It affects the children because they're not fixing the holes in their souls either. It's a sad fact. It's a sad truth. Be honest. Be honest with yourselves. That's the hardest part. And that's when you start doing it, it opens your eyes. You realize it's uphill all the way. How did you maintain your sobriety now, 39 years later? Tips, strategies for long-term sobriety is valuable to all of us. I stopped counting the days and just started living my life. I really got excited by the challenge of exposing myself, not like that, exposing myself and leaving myself open to weakness, and explaining how weak I was in certain situations, which could be information that could hurt me. So if I make it available to everyone, no one can hurt me. It's like a secret power. After a while, you're like, you can't hurt me. I've already confessed that. A lot of times, like even in treatment, when we first started, we did have priests come in and we do confession, even if we weren't Catholic. They just said it was good because you're communicating with your soul and you're letting off some steam, some pressure, some guilt, some humiliation. And it makes you feel a little more, you lighten some of the bricks off your load, so it's easier to be in your group therapy with the other 11 people, or I call us the dirty dozen. And if you're able to speak that freely to a priest, maybe you can start speaking a little more freely to people that are in the same situation as you, and you realize majority of them are supportive. Some people still don't even like you. There were some battles I had when I was locked up, that there was individuals that I did not get along with at all. We actually had a lot of confrontation. We'll deal with that another time. But yeah, I mean, that's your start. When you look at 39 years and I look over my shoulder, I need a telescope to look where I was in the beginning. So these kind of questions get me to the beginning of it. And that way you can understand where I was. I remember I'd mentioned before in another video that I cried myself to sleep first week of lockup, but it wasn't loud crying. It was like, so that the person in the cell wouldn't hear me cry. And when you cry in little bits, it takes longer through the night. It isn't like a 10-minute, 20-minute violent, my chest hurts, my stomach hurts, I cried so much. No, it's just like eking a little bit out of a balloon. It takes a lot longer, and then letting all the air out right away in a big cry. So that was my every night for the first week, and then the second week was the same. But by the end of the second week, I wasn't crying all night long, and I was feeling a little better. Then when they challenged us to open up and say something that you've never said to anyone that would expose you and make you feel a little vulnerable to the group, stand up and say it. I stood up and said, that first 2 weeks here, I cried every night. And one of the guys who was my roommate, cellmate, said, I didn't even notice that. I'm like, I know, and I explained how I did it. And there was quite a few knowing looks, and then someone said, yeah, me too. And I started opening this up, and the counselor was impressed with the fact that I just took a deep dive into the pool. And I said, yeah, I think I took a deep dive into the shallow end of the pool. There's even more to talk about. And I did that more and more, and I got encouraged by that, and I enjoyed being the teacher's pet sometimes because I wanted to lead the pack. And if I could lead the pack by making myself available and exposed to everyone and show my weakness, believe it or not, you become the leader. And I did become the leader of my group. And I realized as I kid around and tell people that when you're in treatment and you're trying to do the right thing, the best thing a man can do is take his biggest weakness and turn it into a strength. That happened to be addiction for me, of course, because what a weakness. It got me locked up. It got me sentenced to 2 years. That's life altering. You can be stubborn and go, look, guys, I'm gonna go to jail. It's still gonna change your life. You're in jail for 2 years. I'm not gonna sober up. Yeah, they got stuff you can get while you're locked up. And you can enjoy 24 months of toilet wine too. Did they make it with urine? I'm not sure. Or just try to change your ways. And like Santana says, change your evil ways, baby, before I stop loving you. I mean, I'm mocking it, making fun of myself, but it was a hard journey, and it was every day. So they don't kid around when they say one day at a time. In other words, don't rush it. Don't rush it. You can't climb the staircase in 3 steps. It takes time. Sometimes we trip, we stumble, we fall, we slide down a few more steps, and we get back up again. I did all my stumbling beforehand, prior arrests and all the other problems, and broken relationships and fights, physical fist fights, and all kinds of embarrassingly stupid things. And you come to terms with these things and you try to talk through them because there was a reason why you probably did that. And usually it just breaks down to your fear of rejection, and you got that hole in your soul you're trying to fill up. And everyone's got one, but those of us that are addicts have bigger holes to fill. And I don't mean that in a fun sexual way. It's daunting, the task. It's not easy. And you bring great humiliation to yourself and shame to your family and your loved ones. And sometimes people have to walk around on eggshells because they don't know what's going to set you off to if you're still openly struggling with your addiction but still using. Makes it worse for everybody. And even when you sober up, it's still a tippy toe at the beginning because people don't want to, they worry about what's going to trigger you, because when you're an addict, you like to blame other people. That's the reason you piss me out. That's why I'm going to go do it. I'm going to get drunk. Just waiting for the same argument every effing week. You know what I mean? Like, well, he's going to get mad and take off. Huh, go figure. And then it's payday too. Huh, how'd that work out? Dad's going to come home with only 40% of his pay. Might cause some more friction in the family the next 2 weeks. It happens. As a matter of fact, when I made that little sarcastic remark, some of you are probably sitting back going, yeah, me too, man. I did that shit myself. So, keep the questions coming in. I do enjoy that people are asking, people are curious, because obviously there's questions when I make the announcement of how long I've been sober. It's still shocking to me when I do it. Like I'm going to do it right now, because we're ending the video vlog right now. Okay, so I've been sober. It's Sunday, April 26th, 2026. 14,271 days, 39 years and 25 days, 468 months and 25 days. Keep the questions coming in. Good luck on your journey as you're moving forward, improving your life, making things better with yourself and for your family and those around you, because we need you to support us in this village. And if you don't, we still have a job for you, because every village has one village idiot. I think in this village we got quite a few, actually. More than enough idiots. And I've had that role for a while. Back in the past, back in the day. More than 14,271 days ago. But I still remember it well. I was the king of jackassery. But thank you for your support. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Thank you for Patreon. You folks are fantastic to us. Thank you for, Cash App, Venmo, Buy Me a Coffee, all that kind of stuff, Zelle, all that stuff, and whatever you use to transfer money. We're a tax-exempt organization, so you can write us off on your taxes, but just don't write us off in your life. You see what I did there? But anyways, good luck with what you're doing. And as I tend to say, but I botch it up sometimes, from the bottom of my heart to the top of my soul, thank you very much. I love you. And in the words of Ringo, peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Share the love. And I appreciate you share your time with me, because I know that's very important, and I love that. So thank you. And I love you, and I will see you on the next vlog. Good night.